Our journey ends when we die, not when we accomplish our goal, right? And so the goal is to live a great life or epic life.
Welcome to Becoming Epic, the podcast for the ones who are counted out, the ones who've been knocked down more times than they can count, but still get back up one more time. This isn't for the perfect. This is for the underdogs, the misfits with big hearts, the ones chasing purpose, not permission. Here, we don't just talk about success. We talk about grit, discipline, heart. We talk about the courage it takes to rebuild yourself when no one is clapping. Because becoming epic, it's not a destination. It's a decision made daily. So if you're tired of the average, the excuses, the same old story, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Adam Berezowsky, and this is Becoming Epic. Let's wake the warrior in you, and let's fucking go.
Welcome back to Becoming Epic podcast. My name is Adam Berezowsky, and I am coming to you this week solo. So I hope you guys have been enjoying some of the episodes that I've been coming out with, because there's so many people around me that have some like crazy stories. So I hope y'all are able to relate to any one of them, and then make the choice or make the decision to be able to go out and find what works for you. So this week I want to come and try to bring a ton of value just in the health and fitness space. I think I've talked a lot about this when it comes down to creating lifelong changes. So many people focus on just the fitness or just the nutrition. They don't look at themselves as like the problem, right? It's like, you look at like, oh, I don't have time to work out, or I don't have the time to meal prep or do whatever. And so what it really comes down to is systems. So in this episode, I kind of want to break down like what systems look like, because they look different for everybody. Because when it comes down to it, in order for things to change, you have to change what you're doing. Most people will do short-term, 6, 8, 10 weeks, whatever it may be, to fit in nutrition, to fit in fitness, into their life. I've even had some people through my business that like will literally change their job, their hours to be able to fit this in, but they, in the end, they can't sustain it. So like, it's why even do that? And so, so like, I want to talk about systems. You need to look at your life like it's a business, because all of us at work, we all play in a role in the business as a part of a system to make the business work efficiently. And we don't look at ourselves like that. We look at everything that's going on in our day-to-day life, and we just like fall into these habits, right? We have these kids, they have these schedules, these husbands and wives, they work, we have to go around their schedule, and we don't look at ourselves as a business. And so if we can sit down and just be like, okay, how can I make fitness and nutrition and this lifestyle fit into my life? Then we can have a different tone to this story, because it's not just you sticking to a diet. It's not just you being able to go to a gym, but how do you do it outside in your day-to-day life? How do you able to go like on a weekend, go out drinking and partying, or a birthday party or a wedding, and do all that stuff, and be able to like not just stay on track, but even if you don't, pick up the next day and do it all over again. Okay. I say this a lot. It's like, how many times have you missed brushing your teeth? I'm sure most of you said never. And so, unless you're my daughter and chooses not to, but that's a different story. And so it's as simple as that. You just have to create a habit that you can sustain. And brushing your teeth is 2 minutes, 4 times, twice a day, morning and night. So it's like you've carved out 4 minutes out of your day to be able to do that. And so that's what I'm talking about. We have to look at our life as a business. And how do we make it run efficiently to be able to serve the goals, right? A business has a goal. Like we have a goal of, helping, 10,000 more lives over the next 5 years. And then like what systems do I need in place in order to do that and accomplish those goals? And so I'm going to tell you about a system. I might've said it in other episodes that I've created that has helped me stay on track even when my life is in chaos. And so nutrition specific is I cook dinner fresh every single night. And so that way I can pick something different every single night. I can, have some flexibility and have some, not flexibility, have some, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my God. Not have to eat the same thing over and over and over again. And so what I do is as I'm cooking dinner, I cook enough for lunch the next day. And then simultaneously, I cook my breakfast prepped for the next day. So I cook one time a day. I'm able to have my lunch prepped for the next day. And then at the same time, I am prepping my breakfast. And so that has helped me because my normal work hours are from, 5 a.m. to, almost 8 p.m. And it's a mix and repeat. Some days I get to sleep in a little bit more. Some days I don't. And so I've been able to create the system that has served my life to make things simple. And so a system is going to look different for everybody, and same thing with the exercise. It's always not just making it to a class or going to a normal big box gym or doing whatever. Sometimes it's just walking. Sometimes it's swimming. Sometimes it's riding your bike. It's movement is what's so important in all this to be able to, generate, let's just call it generational health instead of generational wealth. Because in the end, if you can focus on making those necessary changes, it's going to be so much easier. When people come across my page or my business, my goal is to be able to help them not ever have to worry about getting healthy again. We're supplying the tools, we're supplying the education, we're supplying the habits, we're supplying the systems to help people because everybody's different. So it's like we kind of build a new business for each person that comes in here to help build a process that's going to work for them. And so if you think about nutrition like that and this lifestyle, because again, most people go into it and don't create it a lifestyle. They all know the only way it's going to stick is a lifestyle, but then they choose not to. They always revert back to their old habits. And so when it comes down to it, that is what's the most important part of this is being able to create, again, that like relentless system. And it's going to take practice over and over and over again of what works, what doesn't work, how to, spend a whole day on the baseball fields with your kid, but also stay on track without having to get, the concession stand food or to bring crap or to go to, go through the drive-throughs, things like that for not just you, but also your family. And another, system that I've also developed, which I found myself going to the grocery store every week, right? Once a week. And I noticed a big pattern in me throwing stuff away that I would buy on Monday, throw away by Friday, Saturday, because A, I never used it. B, it went moldy, whatever. And so I would say the biggest thing that I have changed is I go shopping probably 3 to 4 days a week. And I go get what's necessary for those specific meals for that specific time. And then I just mix it and repeat. There's a grocery store on everybody's way home, unless you're in the middle of the boondocks and you don't. But here in our town, there's a grocery store. You throw a rock, there's a grocery store. And I go home. On my way home, I pick up just a couple of necessary things, whether if it's the proteins, the veggies, the carbs, the fruit, whatever it may be, for just a couple of days. And that has really been a lot of help for a lot of ways. One being I save a crap ton of money on waste, and I'm able to have a much better idea when it comes down to my planning of what I'm going to be doing for the whole week, right? I am a creature of habit. I can eat the same thing over and over and over again, but we all need variety. Variety, that's the freaking word. Variety in our life, to be able to still enjoy it, right? I had this client the other day talked about how they went on vacation and the whole guilt factor kind of came over because they were on a cruise and they just kind of ate. And you know what? And that's okay. Like sometimes you're just going to have to be okay with that, but don't let that guilt obstruct the end goal, right? I say this a lot and I'm going to probably get it tattooed is our journey ends when we die, not when we accomplish our goal, right? And so the goal is to live a great life or epic life. And so I wanted to come and really discuss that. And I'd like to hear what other people are doing that is helping them in this process. Because in the end, we all say health is wealth, right? But then we're going to create generational health. We want to teach our kids to be able to be healthy. We want to teach our kids good systems as they grow up in order for them to be able to do it on their own. And I think that that's a really important piece of this because I have an 8-year-old daughter who I'm like the typical dad. It's like, well, you're a kid, but generally she eats a lot of what I eat, but she sees the patterns of what I do every day. We go to the grocery store. Her favorite store right now, oh my God, is Sprouts. And I love that. And this I just learned is Sprouts has a ton of samples, FYI. So if you like going to Costco and doing that, Sprouts has a ton of samples throughout their whole place. You just kind of got to find them. But it's something that we now enjoy doing together. That's a part of our process. So on our way home, really, no matter how late it is, I'm able to get what my needs are and, get what's necessary for my day and her day. And then, and develop processes like that. And so, so please share, please comment, kind of what you guys are doing, because it's not just about storytelling on my platform. I want to be able to like serve and give a lot of value. And, I want to start retraining your brain on what it takes to be successful in health. Nowadays there's a quick fix for everything, whether if it's GLP-1s and there's a place for that, specific medical diets, you can go down the rabbit hole of like intermittent fasting and there's, keto and low carb and all this stuff, right? But there is something out there that does work for you. You just have to continue to figure out what it is, right? What tools are necessary, but then how to apply it to your life and how do you make it fit forever? Because even though, let's take GLP-1, right? Helps with weight loss and among other things, but it doesn't help with muscle growth, right? So that's an aspect of on the diet side or on the weight loss side that you can incorporate, but then how do you keep and maintain your muscle mass? So that way, again, I always say, even if you lost 20 pounds, but if you lost 20 pounds of muscle, you're just a skinnier fat person. So keep that in mind because building strength, building bone density is so important as we age, and strength training is where it's at. And so, please share. I would love to hear what other people are doing. So I'd love to hear from you guys. And I do hope you have been loving the episodes that have been coming out. We have a lot of crazy people here. But again, we all have one common mission, which we're all on the same journey. We just have different destinations because all of our goals are a little bit different. And I would love to be able to help you. Community, speaking of community, I just started a school group. And if you don't know what school group, it's basically an online community that I'm trying to build. That's going to have a ton of educational content in it. A lot of stuff that I talk about when it comes down to systems, nutrition. It's going to have a huge emphasis on nutrition because again, you can go get a good workout anywhere, but what tools are you using at home for that piece of it? And so that I'm going to be doing live calls. I'm building it as we speak. So as I roll things out, but I have the link in my bio on my YouTube channel. And I'll also share it on some other platforms that if you want in, I am eventually going to be charging people for it. But as of right now, if you do get in, it's free. It will be free even if I change it over to a paid thing. It is going to be a high value, low dollar because I want to be able to make the impact, right? I'd rather have 10,000 people paying me, $20 a month, 30, $40 a month versus a couple hundred paying me a couple $100 a month. And so this platform is really, 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 really important and really cool. And I hope to be able to see you there, deliver a ton of value and help any way possible. Just some of the things to expect in there is going to be not only a huge tribe of people, not right now, I'm growing it, but a big tribe of people just like you that are what I call the underdogs, the typical, the average Joe, run-of-the-mill athlete, right? The weekender, the person who has big goals, but just hasn't felt or found the right community to support those goals. So it's going to be really cool. So it's school, SKOOL. So make sure you look out for that. I'm going to put the links in the video and they are also in my bio. So I'm going to see you next week. This is just a short little episode. I just want to deliver some value. Ask questions, comment below of like maybe things that you want topics about. So that way it gives me some ideas to be able to come and sit in front of this camera and put over to, the last 20 years of not only education, but experience of helping people change their lives. So I love you. I'm so happy you're here with me. Thank you for spending every week with me. If you have been, would love any type of feedback. I have this new setup. I got a new camera. So all this fun things happening. So I'm excited to bring you more content. I'll see you next week. Peace.
That's it for today's episode of Becoming Epic. If something stirred in you today, don't let it fade. Take one step, one rep, one bold move. You're not here to play small. You're here to rise, rebuild, and become who you were born to be. Remember, average is easy, epic is earned, and the only way out is through. I believe in you, but it's time you believe in you. Subscribe, share, join the movement, and I'll see you in the next one. Now, go be epic.